Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I create my splatter effect. I've done quite a few looks on Instagram with like the splattery type of effect, and I've gotten a lot of questions on how I create it, and I think I've done one tutorial on Instagram, but I thought it would be a good idea to do one on YouTube. That way I can do like a step-by-step and show you all the different kinds of tools I use, because there are different tools that I use to create all of the different kinds of splatters. So I thought I would go through that with you today. I already have my face makeup on. I figured I wouldn't waste time on that. And we just do the eyes today. So if you're interested in seeing how I create my splatter effect type looks, maybe I'll pop a few in here so you can see what I'm talking about, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm going to start by going in with Last Caress from Melt Cosmetics. And to start, I'm just going to do like a basic eyeshadow look. I don't really know what I have in mind. I just have some colors in mind. But it's mostly going to be splatters, since that's what this video is about. So I'm taking that on my T50 brush. It's just a really tapered, big, fluffy brush. And I'm just going to run it through my crease. Okay, now that's just blended through my crease, I'm just going to go in with Meanstreak from Melt Cosmetics. Both of these shadows are from the She's and Party stack. And I'm also going to place that in my crease just to deepen it up a bit. And I'm also going to bring it onto my entire lid. And then to pack more pigment on the lid, I'm going to go in with the Makeup Shack T52 brush. It's just a flat shader brush. And pack the color onto my lid. And then once you get it blended how you want to, I'm just going to mix the two shades again and go on my lower lash line and smoke it out. And I'm just doing a simple smoked out like eyeshadow today for this video so that we can focus on the splatters, but obviously if you're trying to do this yourself, you can incorporate it into almost any look that you want to. And I feel like I want to add just a little bit of color, so I'm going to go in with Melt Cosmetics Radioactive. And I'm just going to go in with a big fluffy brush. This is the T68 from Makeup Shack. And just take a tiny bit of that and lay it on the outer edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and line my tight line and waterline with the Thrive Cosmetics Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner. Okay, now that that part's out of the way, I thought I would show you all the things that I use to make the splatters. So I use mostly these four things. My favorite thing out of all of them is the toothbrush. I feel like you can do the most with the toothbrush in terms of different like textures and styles of splatter. This one's kind of cool. This is the Sigma E04 brush, and I like to make this for like wispy type of splatters. And then these, just any old spoolie. I really like using these because I usually just dab them on like this and it makes a pattern. And then also these is like a disposable mascara wand. I got these in like a huge pack from Amazon, so I can link those down below. But it's basically the same as this, I guess, except for it's just a different shape, as you can see, so it makes different types of splatters. So I'm going to try and use all four of these today so you can kind of see how I use them. And then other than the tools that I like to use for splatters, my favorite things to make splatters with are the Suva Beauty Hydra liners. This is the one I'm going to be using today. This is in the color Grease, which is just a black, and these are basically water activated paints. They have some like UV colors, which is really cool because they shine under a black light. I really like using those, but this is probably my favorite thing to use with splatters, because if you kind of get splatters in places that you don't want it there, you can just take water and wipe it away. Or these are cool because you make kind of drippies with them, because you can change the consistency with just water. So I really like the Suva Beauty Hydra liners, or any other just water activated paint would work really well. And then second, I really like to use liquid lipsticks, and I like to use the NYX Liquid Suede liquid lipsticks a lot because they're not as drying, I guess. They kind of stay a little bit tacky, so they're just a little bit easier to remove when you want to take them off, but these don't dry down all the way, so I wouldn't recommend this something like wearing them out all day because they're probably going to smudge pretty easily. The colors that I have here today, I don't know if I'll use both of them, but I have Respect the Pink and Sway in the liquid suedes. So first, since I'm gonna try and use like all the different tools that I have to make the splatters today, I'm gonna start out small and I'm gonna go in with the Suva Beauty Hydra Liner in Grease. And so I have an old Fix Plus bottle here just full of water, and I squirt a couple squirts straight into here. Now if you're using it for clients, I don't think that this is like the most sanitary way. You should probably squirt it somewhere else because it's just like all sitting in the pot. And first I think I'm going to use the mascara wand. So you just let it, I just kind of swirl the water around in the pot a little bit, and then I just tap the brush into there. And then just make sure you're kind of coating the brushes that you think that you're going to use on your eyes. So obviously the tip of the brush here is going to give you a different effect than the side of the brush here. So I'm just going to cover a little bit of all of it just in case. For this one, I do usually like to go in with the tip here because it kind of makes like a little star pattern kind of. And then another thing that I like to do before I apply any splatters on my eyes is take what's on whatever tool I'm using and just kind of put it on the back of my hand. That way I know what it's going to look like once I put it on my eyes, and then also if it has too much product on it, it'll kind of take some of the product off. I think you can see a little bit better now. So I'm basically going to start on the outside of my eye, and what I like to do is start by tapping. Usually we can just see just tapping a little bit there puts off a little bit of dots, and from here you can kind of honestly just do whatever you want. I like to tap and then do some swiping motions like that, and I basically just try to distribute the splatters evenly but not too evenly, if that makes sense. I guess it just kind of takes practice, but this is obviously something that doesn't need to be perfect. So with this, I'm just going to start making the outline of where I want all my splatters to be, which is mostly going to be in the outer corner for this look, I think. And another thing that helps me, or something that I like to do, is also change the pressure that you're using when you're making the splatter. So here, where I want it really concentrated, I might push down really hard, but then once I get over here, I'm just going to lightly swipe it to where it's barely touching my skin, because I don't want as much product there. So this is one method with the mascara wand like this. I just like to tap it and swipe it pretty much to get the textures that you want. Next I'm going to go in with this Sigma E04 brush, I believe it is. Yeah, E04. It's a lash fan brush. This I like to make lots of swiping motions with. So I'm going to go in with that Hydra liner again, and I'm going to coat the tips of it like this, and then take my hand and kind of swipe off some of the product, because this one will take up a lot of product. So it's a little bit drier now, and I'm just going to start swiping it. I'm not going to use this one too much today because I really want to go in with a toothbrush and it's just going to cover all of this up, but this is a really good one to get cool swiping motions. And then I'm going to go on with the toothbrush because this is mostly what I'm going to be using today. So there's two types of things that I really like to do with the toothbrush. I don't have any product on here yet, it's just old dry product. So first I like to tap it just like the mascara wand, and those create kind of dotty motions too, but since the toothbrush is shaped like this, they're kind of odd shapes. And then I also do like to swipe it too, and those create obviously swiping motions too, but they're a little bit thicker. And using the toothbrush just creates more like odd shapes, I guess, and I think it looks really cool. And then the third thing that I like to do with the toothbrush is actually get it really wet with product. So this works obviously the best with the water activated paints, is get it really wet and actually flick the product on your eyes. That creates like a real splattery effect, so I'm going to try and do that too. Usually I do that if I haven't done my face makeup yet, which I've already done, so I'm going to try not to get it everywhere because that method is super messy. I literally have to take a makeup wipe and take it to my whole entire eye area after I do that. So now that I've squirted some of the product in here, I just like to take the toothbrush and tap it in. And so the tip of the toothbrush here is what I usually use, and I'm just going to take that and start dabbing it. As you can see, those are the kind of effects that you get from the toothbrush when you tap it. And as I get more into my lid here, I'm going to not use as much pressure because I don't want them to be as intense And another thing to note with the water activated paints is you do have to wait for them to dry. So if I were to open my eye all the way, these will smear, which could give you the effect that you wanted to, but I want them to stay in this circular shape. So just make sure to hold your eye kind of like this or closed so that it doesn't smear the water activated paint. And then I'm going to go in and start swiping it, and I'm kind of doing an outwards motion. I guess I'm kind of doing like a splattery wing type thing today. Another thing that helps with the toothbrush is not just leaving it in this position, but also taking it up so it's in this position and you can get just a better reach of different areas of your eye. Then if I want some really random splatters, I wait till a little bit of the product has dried or is off the toothbrush, and I kind of just start swiping it and patting it in random places that I feel needs a little bit more splatter. Also going to bring this down on my lower lash line just a little bit, but just be careful if you're using a water activated paint like this. Don't get it into your eye because obviously it's water activated and it'll start to run if your eye runs into it. And the toothbrush is also cool because you can use so many different angles with it and get so many different kinds of textures. So you can kind of poke it on this end, or you can use the side. There's just a lot of different ways that you can use the toothbrush, which is really cool. So I think I'm going to leave the black like this. I might add a couple more with the liquid lipstick so you can see how I would use it with liquid lipstick. And I'm going to go in with the NYX Liquid Suede and Respect the Pink. And I do think one of the best ways to use liquid lipsticks is on one of these type of wands or a little spoolie or something. It's just hard to clean out of the toothbrush, and the toothbrush is just really good with the water activated paints because you can kind of splatter them. So I just put a little bit of the liquid lipstick on my back of my hand like this, and then I rub the mascara wand around in it, and I'm just going to take it and start plopping it a little bit. I'm not going to use too much of this color because I want it to be pretty smoky and black today. I don't know if you can tell while I'm doing this, but I'm just kind of poking it and then swiping it at the same time to create different textures using the side and the very front of it. And say you have it like this, but you don't like the way it looks, you can just keep layering it and going back, say with the toothbrush and the black, which is what I usually do. I'll end up layering colors and different tools. Right now, I think I'm going to just leave it at that. I just want a little bit of color in there. Obviously, with all these tools, you can kind of create whatever kind of splatters that you want with whatever mediums and colors that you want. So I'm going to finish the other eye and I'll zoom you out. Okay, so I just applied some mascara. I used the Tarte Man-Eater mascara, and then I applied a liquid lipstick. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sad Girl liquid lipstick. And I'm just going to pop on some lashes. These are the Rouge and Rogue Miss Fury lashes. Alright, and here's the finished look. I hope this was helpful and answered some of your guys' questions about how I create the splatters. Like I said before, I'm going to link everything down below of what I use. That way you have direct links to it. Whenever I do looks that have splatters with it, it's definitely the most fun that I have doing makeup out of any other time that I do makeup. I just think it's so much fun, and the nice thing is it doesn't have to be perfect. Like if you're doing two eyes, they don't have to match exactly, and you can just kind of have fun with it and not worry about being exactly perfect, and mixing colors and creating new color combinations and putting the splatters in different parts of your eye and face. I just think is super, super fun. So if you guys try out the splatters, please tag me in it. I would love to see. And I hope you have just as much creating it as I do. Like always, if you have any requests on what kind of videos I should make, please comment them down below. I'd really appreciate it. And you can follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, all at TessFX. All of my social handles, as of right now, are TessFX, so it's really easy to memorize. So yeah, with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next video.